done. Intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. All right, yeah, so speaking of Japan, speaking of different games and different models, we are back talking about Assassin's Creed Shadows. This has been a recurring topic for our channel for sure. So our last Assassin's Creed topic was on the petition. So that was like the main topic we were covering last week when we pushed out the video for that. And we got so many hate comments on it saying like, why does anyone care? You know what 80,000 signatures is? It's like 0.00001% of all Japanese people or something. It's like, it was some like a bunch of stupid arguments about like, it's not important enough to care about. And then they invest like 7 hours of their day in our comments. Like
yeah, well, I mean,
they obviously,
if you got that day off, might as well troll.
Yeah, it's obvious that they don't care. But just a brief update. So last week when we did it, it was at 60,000. So now it is at 84,000. It looks like the traction on it is slowing down. So maybe we won't break 100,000. I would like to see that happen. But this is still really good news for people who are trying to fight this fight. I mean, anything you can point to.
What is the gripe here? Give me like the Cliff's Notes.
Sure. Go ahead, Cody.
There's a black guy in Japan.
Yep.
And they hate it. No.
All right. So the game takes place around. This would be the 1400s.
Sure.
Am I mistaken? That
Feudal Japan.
Yeah, during the Warring States period. And there was this black dude roaming around at that time called Yasuke, and he was like almost like a sideshow thing.
Okay.
Where it's like, hey, check out my black man. And they'd bring him around, and
it's probably not a common thing to see.
They basically took that dude and just made him into a samurai into this game, and people are kind of pissed because, one, we've been waiting over a decade for an Assassin's Creed game to be based in Japan. And two, you picked a time period where you could pick thousands of fucking people to choose from as the main character. And you choose a dude that was a sideshow.
And not Japanese.
Right.
Like, it's fine that the black dude is going around killing Japanese people in Japan, but, like, you can't remake Resident Evil 5 because you got white people going around Africa killing zombified black people. So it's like a double standard thing, but...
Man, Resident Evil 5 was sweet.
It was.
Punch the fuck out of that boulder.
It was absolutely sweet. So in addition to the petition that we've been covering, there's been a couple.
That was a bar, bro.
What?
In addition to the petition.
In addition to the petition, I'm not doing it.
I'm turning into Slim.
Gross.
So what is the hope of this petition?
Okay, so the hope of the petition, it is calling for cancellation. It is a boycott petition, which normally I'm not getting behind. Normally I'm not for like. Boycotting like games and stuff like that, unless it's, I mean, I don't mind the market taking their money elsewhere and doing anything like that, but Japanese people are calling for this. Like, this is actually created by Shimizu Toru, is the starter of this petition. I don't know how significant he is as far as like if he's a content creator or if he's just an average Joe, or an average something.
What's the equivalent to Joe in Japanese?
Shoto. I don't know if he's just your average Shoto. So I don't know the significance of this petition and how people are reacting to it over in Japan, except from the articles that we're seeing on the topic. But it seems like the hope for this petition is to get a cancellation regarding the game. Now, it's 84,000 is not enough to offset what Ubisoft has probably invested into this game, even if you take into account that all 84,000 of these people are not going to buy your game, and the people who don't even know about the petition may not buy your game. You're cutting your market down pretty significantly, and an entire country is starting to take notice of this. The other update to the story that happened over the week was that a politician named Satoshi Hamada, he is a Japanese politician who has taken notice of what happened here, and he's actually called this cultural theft is the term he used when talking about
politicians love to say things like that.
Oh, they don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, well, what would the equivalent of that,
is that
in
like,
the States be? It's like any
I mean,
cultural appropriation.
Exactly that, yeah.
Like,
basically the same thing.
Yeah. So the Satoshi Hamada is apparently going to be bringing this topic before the Japanese Diet, which is their legislative body.
I was gonna say it's kind of confusing reading the title of this. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the
so
hell?
I guess the Diet is just like their parliament, and I obviously don't know why it's called that. It's probably just a language issue. But there's other issues going on with this. So in addition to misrepresenting Japanese history, they're misrepresenting the architecture of it. They're also using different AI generated images to like that are misrepresenting the period of time in it. They took a banner that was actually from a historical reenactment group, and they published that along with the rest of their marketing material. So now they're actually getting a copyright suit against Ubisoft for using like a trademark flag that they just stole from this group.
There's a lot of copy pasting going on in the design world today.
Exactly.
It's
But
like Insomniac using the Cuban flag instead of the Puerto Rican flag for Miles Morales.
yeah,
It's like, what? You know, it's around the same area.
it's close
Fuck it.
enough. Close enough.
Like,
That's
as to like the cultural theft or things like that. It's a video game. Is it a history book? No. Is it a documentary? No. So what the problem is? It's a game. You go around and stab people. It's not historically accurate.
well, fair point. I mean, that was actually brought up a lot in the chat. It's not a history book, so why does it matter?
Yeah.
Well, it's the precedent. So Assassin's Creed has had a fair amount of historical representation in their games, far higher average than this game. So unless the
A good amount of inaccuracy too.
Sure. I mean, we're not talking about, like you said, we're not talking about history books here, but it's the difference that is making the argument. This is less historically accurate than the standard that has been brought forward over the last, how long has Assassin's Creed been around? 20 years? 15 years?
Since 2007.
So 2007, so almost 25 years.
Yeah.
Or 20 years.
13.
Thank you. Well, hold on. No, 20, no. That'd be
28.
23 years.
23 years.
Wait, what am I saying now?
So 2018.
18.
23 years. 18 years. Are we just all horrible?
I think we're all horrible at basic math.
Which one of us knows how to add here?
Okay, so if it was 2000, what?
2007.
2007.
Go to 2017, that's 10.
Yeah.
And then go to 2024. And that's how many?
I don't
Say with me,
know.
class.
17?
17 almost.
All right.
17 years.
So
Okay.
clo-
all right. None
closer
of us
to
were
20.
right the
It's-
first time.
I said 18.
But we made it.
Close to 20 plus. Well, if you add the 3 years of development that
we'll
they're.
cut that out.
I'm probably right if you add the 3 years of development they had going into it, or probably more. But,
Back in 2007, you didn't spend that much time.
In 2007, games came out quick?
No.
No. Sad. But no, the fact that you had 15 plus years of representation from this franchise, where at least they were trying to make historical accuracies related to the characters and the factions they were talking about, or even like, what was the Egypt one where they had like a perfectly designed city map or something?
Well, they basically redid the whole country of Egypt.
Yeah. But what accurately?
Well, I mean, it didn't take. It took you like 5 minutes to go from one city to the other. That's not very accurate, but I would say
yeah.
2,000 years ago, sure.
They made more efforts.
I wasn't around back then.
No, I'm just saying that like there was some story that talked about like the historical accuracies of older Assassin's Creed games. I was pleading my argument to that they have made bigger amounts of effort in previous games than they are with this one, and it seems intentional.
It's a blatant DEI thing. It's blatantly like, we're going to choose the one black dude that was around as the main character, and then the other protagonist is going to be a female ninja. It's the blatancy of the, like, quote-unquote, like, wokeness of it. Instead of just, doing, like, what any other game would and be like, hey, let's just have a Japanese fucking protagonist.
Well, and so additionally, you had Ghost of Tsushima.
And they're also rewriting, like, there was a war in Wikipedia, basically, of people editing back and forth about this dude, Yasuke, in it.
Yeah, people are claiming that
like,
he was a samurai.
The game is actually rewriting history online. So if you look up this actual real person, you're going to get fucking 12 different things about him.
Sounds like a mess.
Well,
it is a clusterfuck.
And he's gay
that
now.
Ubisoft put into
He's
this
gay
world.
now?
He's gay in this game.
You can be gay in this game.
Yeah. Historically accurate.
He's gay now?
I thought
They're gay now.
This is a game about like murdering people, though, essentially, right?
Oh,
It's
murdering that
Assassin's
ass.
Creed. But like,
Clapping
why
man
is
cheeks.
that even like relevant at all? Why do they even bother wasting?
Welcome to the
I'm sick
welcome
of
to the fight.
space
Yeah.
I'm sick
game.
of romances in video games.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
honestly
it's
don't need it.
way
They're
overdone.
I mean,
Go play Baldur's Gate if you want to bang people in a video
You want
game.
to fuck
I
a
do
bear,
want to get back into Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. I do
you
want
do
to.
want to
So,
clap those bear cheeks.
in addition to the petition, the politician who's brought into the conversation, the complaints about the historical accuracy, the petition getting 80,000 signatures is not a small feat either, especially if like a lot of people are foreign to this conversation. Like if you're summoning 80,000 people who are just completely foreign to identity politics in games that represent your culture, like Japan, like obviously has plenty of games that represent their history. Ghost of Tsushima got absolutely whiplashed by like negative criticism because it was a Western studio developing it.
It was criticized by the West.
By the West for being
There's
a Western.
like white people were complaining that white people made a Japanese game.
Yeah. And now those same people are absolutely mum when it comes to Ubisoft making a Japanese game.
Yeah, no. It's
And
'cause
people
it's-
just like to complain.
I mean, I love it. It's like my favorite thing.
That's their actual favorite game, is pissing and moaning.
Fair
Hey
enough.
man, I'm a straight white privileged male. I have nothing better to do.
I am complete.
I mean, like, I wonder how many of those signatures are literally that people who really don't give a shit one way or another, and we're just like, yeah, I want to.
I mean, I probably didn't even plan on buying the next Ubisoft. Like, I beat all the Assassin's Creed games up to Valhalla, and then I played like 3 hours of Mirage when it came out, and that was one of the games that was like back to format, back to the basics, and I just like I
I don't even
dipped
know what
out.
the last Assassin's Creed I played. It was the one where you were like the native and like the.
That was
American
3, and that came out in
That was
2012.
fun. I had fun playing that.
I
I didn't
think-
touch one after it.
I think a lot more. I think
You
it's
didn't play Black Flag?
No.
Oh,
I think it's more likely that the people in the actual petition signing are not just culture warriors looking for the W, and instead, I think it's far more likely that people are pissed off that their culture
also
is
be
not
that-
getting represented fairly.
yeah. It could also be that people are just sick of fucking Ubisoft. Because every game they put out in every franchise is the exact same fucking game. Far Cry is a joke now.
I mean, it could. Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
so is Assassin's Creed. but
Assassin's Creed. I mean, the only good game
Division
is
sucks.
For Honor is great.
That came out 7 years ago.
Yeah, we did the math easily on that one.
Yeah, because I already did it.
Yeah. That's quick math for you. No, I think that people are actually. I think it's probably good faith frustration against this game when
Like,
it comes
they put
to
out
like.
Skull and Bones. That was supposed to be the first quadruple A game. And it
I don't think that
tanked.
happened.
What
I
does
don't-
that? What does that even mean? A quadruple A game?
It's because they spent so much fucking money
So
on
they
it.
they just like every time they add another zero to the end, it's like another A.
There was a YouTuber who broke down like the variants from all the way from AAA down to like a pixel game or something like that.
I kind of think like video games peaked with Link to the Past for Super Nintendo. It's all been downhill since then.
Super Nintendo? Like just yeah, Mario was the OG. No,
I mean, like, yeah,
no, the golden era for gaming was the Xbox 360, PS3 when you had like the Halo Reach came out, Halo 4 came out, you had the Master Chief Collection.
I think an argument could be made for that.
Yeah, you had the console wars were so relevant. South Park did a trilogy set on them.
Yeah, those were fun.
That was good. I mean, I think that's the strongest. I think that's the strongest one.
Yeah, I would say basically between 2007 to like 2019.
The
It's like that. Those games that came out during that time were fucking insane.
so just to also like continue to dogpile on Assassin's Creed.
Oh, fuck you, sideways.
There's a Japanese pop song dissing the game called Why Yasuke. It mocks Ubisoft for featuring Yasuke and like screwing up Japanese history
Is this
again.
like the flip flop to Discourse song?
Bitch, it might be. but this is like it's getting diss tracks made about it. Like these people aren't like LARPing. Like
my ignorant prediction on this is that Ubisoft is going to ignore all this. They're going to release the game. They're going to get their money, and then they're just going to do it again in 2 years.
I don't think that's faulty. I think that actually is likely to be what happens. The whole point of like talking about this is so they can't pretend that they aren't doing it.
Well,
Are
regardless,
they pretending they're not doing it, or
Yeah,
are they just
like-
ignoring people who are trying to call them out?
No, they just
for
keep
it?
calling people. They call people racist for calling them out for it, and they keep like attacking the fandom for like complaining about the game. And
yeah,
then
but, like that's why you hire like an HR person is to just
Oh, they're
like,
the
go on
worst, though.
Twitter and call people racist when they criticize you.
yeah, so it's
that's how I win every argument.
it's just call them racist enough, then I'll do it.
It's worked so far.
I'm just saying that because I'm white.
Well, I
Racist.
well I do.
You know why I pulled you over today? Because I'm white.
When you're a company the size of Ubisoft, like making them hurt will take like a Budweiser effect kind of moment.
I mean,
Like, that's what it would take to
won't.
hurt
Honestly,
Ubisoft.
all it would take would be for, like, it wouldn't need to be that big. I don't think. Like, wow, Budweiser, what?
We that's the
Jesus.
unrelated topic. I'm just saying that like
Good lord.
when you have a company as the size of Ubisoft,
They need a
Activision,
tranny to come out to support this game.
Yeah.
And everyone's out.
yeah, then you have a bunch. Like the thing about Budweiser, I don't want to talk about
They're gonna
Budweiser.
Use that dumpster fire in like business school for the next 100 years as an example of what not to do to your brand.
When you have Middle America buying your beer and you're like, hey, let's put a tranny on it instead. That'll be fun. They'll love it.
I mean, like, I don't have a dog in this fight here, but that was like some heavy duty weapons grade disconnect from your customer.
It's like, who the fuck do you think is drinking Bud
Who
Light,
do you
bro?
think is buying Bud Light?
Exactly. So I mean, when you talk about like the Japanese culture and the Japanese community, it's that's. I don't think this game was targeted for them, but then you have so many people coming out and just.
Well, it's not targeted for anyone, really. They
Right.
just do what they want to do. And then the thought of making money on a product isn't a thought in people's minds anymore in these big companies.
Yeah. The argument I hate the most about this game is when people are like, these are just well-intended artists who are making creative decisions about the game. I'm like, shut the fuck up. No, they aren't.
No, it's just
Like, these people-
some bitch named Nancy that they hired from Twitter that has pronouns in their bio. And it's like, hey, do you want to write this game for us?
Every quote-unquote creative decision made in this game was done in a boardroom by focus groups, by people who are just disconnected from the gaming
And
audience.
the way that companies make money off games has changed a lot recently too.
Yeah.
It's all the microtransactions.
if you can if you get like some viral articles like this where you get a few people polarized and then you sell really well and you have good player numbers for like a month or maybe 2 months and then people go find another one. So it's like it's all about just getting this initial hit of
The launch.
of revenue and then you abandon it. Then your game's abandoned where you go build the next one.
Well, and Ubisoft has been like a master class at that.
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Who did I say?
You said Ubisoft.
Ubisoft?
Ubisoft. Extremely soft.
It's
Uber.
so soft.
Maximum
the
softness.
softest.
This is the softest company in the world. Ubisoft, thank you, is like they have a reputation for abandoning their IPs and abandoning their project. Like the X Defiant, if X Defiant hangs on, I'll be surprised.
I've never even heard of that one.
So X Defiant is they marketed it as the Call of Duty killer. Like it was a first-person shooter designed to like take on Call of Duty directly, saying we're gonna try to make an arcade shooter that's gonna like take a market share from Call of Duty, not take their entire audience. That's impossible, but take a large enough amount of their market share to give the customer a choice between product.
See, that just sounds like marketing ignorance to me because people who play Call of Duty are going to play other good first-person shooters. They're not going to stop playing Call
Well,
of
that's
Duty.
the thing. There aren't any good other. There's no other arcade shooter in the same genre as Call of Duty.
I don't know. You played Halo 2? That was...
That's not the same genre. That's not the same thing.
No?
No, it's not. It's
More
not.
like modern day.
Yeah,
You know, it's-
Yeah. The I don't accept that that's the same genre.
Fuck,
So
I want to play Halo 3 multiplayer now.
I do.
360 was the peak.
Reach multiplayer. Reach had
360
Forge World.
lobbies were the peak too.
Reach had Forge World, best game mode.
Forge World's great.
Forge World was awesome. But no, when it comes to Call of Duty and X Defiant was meant to be Ubisoft's attempt at that, and their launch had a few issues, but they overcame those pretty quickly. They've done a decent job of creating patches, but their game is so fucking frustrating. It is so hard to play that game and get any enjoyment out of it. I am convinced that every single person who plays that game and unironically is in Twitter like defending X-Defiant and all the bugs is a masochist, or they're just coping. I don't accept that this game actually is good or people are enjoying it. I want to check the player numbers and see what's going on with that just to get updated. Just to round out this story with Assassin's Creed Shadows, because we kind of have one more thing here.
The whole thing is basically fuck Ubisoft.
Basically.
This whole
Basically.
section.
Assassin's Creed accused of using Zoro's sword from One Piece and props from Amazon as official artwork.
Oh, I don't care.
I just like that story. That one makes me a little happy.
Don't use my sword, bro.
My sword, bro.
What do you mean using Zoro's sword? It's just a katana.
Well, they use his sword, I guess.
It must have the same color palette or something.
I guess.
I mean, it could be like, it could be.
Oh, it's red.
Yeah, it's.
Oh no.
It's a red sword. But it's only an accusation. That's a far less important story than what we were talking about originally. I'm just saying.